Chapter 1. A Mysterious Disappearance. The rain poured relentlessly, a fitting backdrop to the gloomy night that shrouded the city. In the dimly lit alleyways, crime thrived and secrets festered. Detective Sarah Mitchell stood under the flickering streetlight, her trench coat drenched, and her fedora casting a shadow over her determined face. Her icy blue eyes scanned the alley for any clues, her gloved hands gripping a photograph. A week ago, Sarah received a distressing call from a frantic mother, Mrs. Evelyn Turner. Her son, Danny, a promising young journalist, had vanished without a trace. The police had initially brushed it off as another young man running away from responsibilities. But Sarah knew better. Danny was close to breaking a major story, and someone wanted him silenced. Chapter 2. A Trail of Clues. Sarah had a hunch that the key to Danny's disappearance lay in his recent investigation. She had managed to retrieve his notes, which hinted at a major corruption scandal involving some of the city's most influential figures. Names were scribbled in Danny's handwriting: politicians, businessmen, and even members of law enforcement. As she dug deeper into the case, Sarah discovered that Danny had last been seen leaving a local dive bar, known for its underworld connections. It was there she began her quest for answers. Chapter 3. The Dive Bar. Sarah entered the dimly lit bar, its atmosphere thick with cigarette smoke and tension. The patrons eyed her with suspicion, but she didn't waver. She needed information. She slid onto a bar stool, ordered a bourbon, and waited. A shady figure approached, his face hidden beneath a battered fedora. "You're asking about the kid, ain't ya?" he rasped, his voice dripping with mistrust. Sarah nodded, her steely gaze never leaving his. "I want to know what happened to Danny Turner." The stranger leaned in closer, his breath tinged with the smell of whiskey. He was digging too deep, cut too close to the truth. They warned him to stop, but he didn't listen. Sarah's heart raced. Who are they, and where's he now? The stranger's lips curled into a sinister smile. "You'll find out soon enough, detective." Chapter 4. Unraveling the Conspiracy. With the bar led, Sarah traced the conspiracy to a powerful underground organization known as the Syndicate. This shadowy group had its fingers in every corrupt pie in the city, and Danny's investigation was unraveling their operations. It became clear that the Syndicate would stop at nothing to protect their interests. As Sarah dug deeper, she enlisted the help of a few trusted allies, including a tech-savvy hacker named Leo and a reformed informant, Frankie. Together, they pieced together the puzzle of Danny's disappearance. Chapter 5. The Showdown. The investigation led to a derelict warehouse on the outskirts of the city. Inside, Sarah and her team uncovered a chilling scene: a makeshift interrogation room. Danny, battered and bruised but alive, sat bound to a chair. As Sarah confronted the sinister figure behind the operation, she learned that the Syndicate was willing to go to extreme lengths to maintain their control over the city. A tense standoff ensued, but with courage and cunning, Sarah and her team managed to expose the corruption and dismantle the Syndicate's network. Epilogue. Justice prevails. In the end, justice prevailed, and those responsible for Danny's abduction and the corruption plaguing the city were brought to light. The corrupt politicians, businessmen, and law enforcement officials were arrested and faced the consequences of their actions. Danny's story, the one he had been so close to breaking, became front-page news, leading to widespread reforms and a renewed sense of hope in the city. As for Sarah, she continued her fight against crime, knowing that in the darkest corners of the city, she was the beacon of justice, shining a light on the shadows of deceit.